Like many of us, I grew up watching Bandicam speed paints of paint tool Sai artists. I used Sai for over 6 years, using the same basic Wacom tablet I got for Christmas at 15. I love this program. My main problem was, as a college student, it was impossible for me to bring my desktop to school, and using my tablet on a laptop didn't really work. So, a couple months ago, I bit the bullet, bought an iPad mini on sale, and downloaded Procreate. I hated it. I debated returning the iPad completely, but now I turn to it so frequently I barely even touch my old tablet anymore. So how did I stop hating Procreate? Released in 2011, Procreate is the de facto recommendation many have for artists who are starting their digital art journey. In 2018, it became the best-selling app on the App Store. #Procreate has thousands of posts strewn across various platforms. But what gave me the idea for this video was the amount of posts that I saw that talked about the growing pains of Procreate, like this Reddit post that says, "Moving to Procreate feels terrible, can someone help?" When I first downloaded Procreate, I felt the same way. It felt wrong and bad. I even texted my boyfriend to complain. The brushes felt weird, I didn't like anything I drew with it, and I couldn't figure out why. Using my tablet had never felt this way. I forced myself to keep going. It took a few days of non-stop drawing to get more comfortable, and before I knew it, I was drawing constantly and feeling like I had finally gotten the hang of Procreate. Here's what helped me. Procreate comes preloaded with dozens of brushes. It feels entirely overwhelming at first. Sadly, I couldn't find a brush that felt exactly like my 6-year-old paint tool Sai brush. But I found a brush with similar foundations and tweaked it to suit my style more. I would recommend doing the same thing, even though it actually took me a few days and a lot of Googling to figure out how to properly tweak it. Plenty of artists also upload brush packs that they make themselves. These can be very helpful, especially if you don't care too much to get into the nitty-gritty of the settings, and a lot of these brush packs are free. However, I don't think it's good to get too into hoarding brushes. Buying or downloading more brush packs is not going to make you a better artist by itself. Focus on finding and getting comfortable with 1 to 4 brushes for various uses, and experiment as much as possible after. As a side note, one thing I do not like about a lot of Procreate brushes is the built-in stabilizer, and this is where I think a lot of people's problems come from. For the brush I mainly use, I have stabilization turned completely off. Since Procreate has a lot of features that are largely relegated to gestures, I found reading through Procreate's user guide incredibly helpful. It walks you through gestures and different features. Their YouTube channel also has some videos, but I'm a person who prefers written guides. Nevertheless, both of these sources are linked below. I also found that reading through questions on Reddit helped me a lot initially, as these tend to be more specific questions and answers than an overall guide. And finally, the main thing that stopped me from hating Procreate is that I stopped trying to force it to be something it's not. Fundamentally, Procreate is a digital sketchbook. It is less advanced than other programs. A lot of my favorite features from Sai aren't here, and I'm forced to adapt to that. But I think that this trade-off, that is, portability for less features, is worthwhile unless you think you desperately need the full range of tools, and you might. But I knew I needed something that would help me draw more. Not necessarily better, but more. I didn't draw regularly for almost 3 years because of college, and I was so busy I didn't care that much. But Procreate gave me the ability to draw while away from home. It wasn't going to give me thousands of features, but it gave me that, and I'm very, very grateful for that. And with this final acceptance came the drive to keep practicing and improving. And as I practiced, it got easier and easier to use. Yes, it felt awful at first to draw in Procreate, but if I never forced myself to get over that, I would be way worse off for it. Acceptance is the final step. I want to end this video with one last sentiment. The best software is the software that you use. The best software is the software that makes you create, that removes as many barriers as possible. For you, it might be Procreate, it might be Krita or Clip Studio Paint or any other program, but all that matters is that you're drawing. If you haven't found that program yet, I encourage you to keep persevering. As they say, the best time to start was 20 years ago, but the second best time is now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please like and leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. You can find more of my art on Instagram or Tumblr under the same handle. Thank you again, and have a nice day.